Eala is the match that I was looking at, and there's people like wrapped around the stadium just trying to get in, which is pretty crazy. And I mean, it's cool to see and it's exciting, but obviously, you know, for fan experience, I don't know, because I'm not living that same experience, but hopefully the event kind of continues to grow the fans that we're getting and making that still an enjoyable experience for them. But I did see some of the courts have like lines getting in, and it seems really busy, and I saw some reports that it's some of their busiest.
She made it clear that although she's not personally caught up in that same wild fan frenzy, she genuinely hopes the tournament keeps building momentum with these new supporters so the atmosphere becomes even more exciting for them. And it's not just Pegula taking notice. At this point, it's practically the worst-kept secret on tour. Even Novak Djokovic, the 24-time Grand Slam champion, recently weighed in on the sheer chaos surrounding Eala's matches, describing the overwhelming crowds as a good problem to have a rising young star generating more than 20 times the global attention of an established Grand Slam champion. It's reached the point where respected tennis writers are seriously asking whether Eala might already be the most popular player in women's tennis right now. Tour executives aren't ignoring it either. They're racing to figure out how to channel this surge of energy. But here's why Jessica Pegula's recent press conference matters so much. Here's why Eala's supporters should hold on to every word. Having a massive fan base is one thing. Selling out stadiums and going viral is one thing. Plenty of athletes have hype. But hype doesn't win matches. Hype doesn't earn respect in the locker room. The locker room respects the ball. It respects what happens after the umpire calls play. And Jessica Pegula knows exactly what it feels like to share a court with Alex Eala. She knows the physical price you pay. Think back to their battle at the Miami Open, the match that truly ignited the Eala explosion. Pegula escaped 7-6, 5-7, 6-3, and looked as if she'd just gone 15 rounds in a heavyweight title fight. When Pegula was asked about Eala's game, the polished PR tone disappeared. She didn't offer a routine compliment. She delivered a technical breakdown, the kind players reserve for opponents they genuinely respect. She's really good tennis player. Then she explained why. Eala attacks. She takes the ball early. And on professional hard courts, that's brutally difficult. It demands razor-sharp footwork and elite hand-eye coordination. By striking early, she steals her opponent's reaction time. She rushes them. She forces discomfort. Pegula also highlighted the left-handed factor, always tricky, and emphasized how fiercely Eala competes. This is Pegula, one of the best pace absorbers on the WTA Tour, openly acknowledging how challenging it is to deal with Eala's game. That's not hype talking. That's respect. Pegula made it crystal clear that dealing with Eala's heavy, early left-handed strikes is a complete puzzle. And then she delivered the ultimate compliment, the kind that silences anyone still calling Eala a temporary sensation. I don't really think she needs me to tell her that she's a great player. We're definitely going to see a lot of her. And she closed it with, she proved that tonight. That was really tough. Feel the weight of that. When Jessica Pegula says she doesn't need to reassure Eala about her greatness, that's an acknowledgement of internal belief, the kind elite athletes recognize instantly. She's not talking about hype. She's talking about foundation, about a baseline game built for the top tier. Pegula isn't treating Alex Eala like a feel-good story. She's treating her like a legitimate threat to the established order. When a top 5 player publicly says your match was really tough, you've arrived. And now step back and look at the psychology of what's unfolding on the WTA Tour. Imagine being 20 years old, carrying the pride of an entire nation every time you walk onto a court. Every practice session draws crowds. Every warm-up turns into a spectacle. At events in the Middle East, particularly in places like Dubai, where there's a significant Filipino community, the stadium energy feels seismic when her name echoes through the arena. That kind of spotlight can suffocate a young player, can inflate egos, can crack confidence, can overwhelm even seasoned pros. But what does Eala do? She tunes it out. She walks onto the court, blocks out the noise and competes. Not as a viral star. Not as a social media phenomenon. As a tennis player. Think back to her battle with Pegula at the Miami Open, the match that truly ignited this surge. Pegula survived, but she had to endure a relentless tactical chess match. That wasn't hype. That was substance. And that's what makes this moment on tour so fascinating. The crowds are real. The numbers are real. The respect is real. Now the only question is how high this ceiling truly goes. She plays a brutally disciplined, intelligent brand of tennis. The kind that drags opponents into 2.5-hour baseline wars. The kind that forces someone like Jessica Pegula to dig into every layer of her game just to survive. And even in defeat, Alex Eala walks off the court with something invaluable. Respect. That's why this fan movement feels different. Yes, national pride plays a huge role. Filipino fans rally behind their own with unmatched passion. And when she competes in places like Dubai, where there's a strong Filipino presence, the atmosphere becomes electric. But it goes deeper than flags and chants. Supporters are watching a player who backs up the noise with grit. She's not leaning on a 120 miles per hour serve for free points. She's grinding, sprinting, defending, redirecting pace, taking the ball early, outthinking opponents shot after shot. It's blue-collar tennis, earned, not gifted, and that resonates. So when Pegula sits in a press conference fresh off a major title and takes the time to praise Eala's tricky early lefty patterns and the surge of crowd energy around her, that's validation. That's confirmation that the buzz isn't manufactured. It's competitive reality. And think about the scale of it all. At the Australian Open, Eala's pre-tournament press conference views dwarfed those of two-time champion Aryna Sabalenka. That's not a small statistical blip. That's a signal. So here's the bigger question for the tennis world. Does hearing a top professional break down Eala's tactics change the way you view her ceiling? Are those roaring stadium crowds a competitive edge? Adrenaline, momentum, belief? Or is it an immense weight for a 20-year-old to carry every single week? What makes this moment fascinating is that she's not disrupting the tour with theatrics. She's doing it with patterns, with timing, with court positioning, with competitive IQ. That's how revolutions in tennis actually begin. And honestly, watching a young player shake up the established order, not with hype alone but with substance, is one of the most exciting things in sport.